Hi drawing students. So today we are going to start with your pencil and a new page in your sketchbook. I'm on page 15. If you have room there, you can start there. The work we're going to do this week is focused on doing some technical changes with your drawing mark making and also building some creativity. So we're going to do a little bit of both. The first thing I want you to think about is the relationship we talked about in your brain, your left brain and right brain. Remember how your left brain is the logical portion and your right brain is the creative side and the side that lets you observe a little more carefully? We're going to play on that a little bit too. So the topic for this week is going to be trees, which is a simple topic, but trees are a little more interesting this time of year. And we're going to stick with just our pencil for now, but trees. So if I ask you to draw a tree, some people will just instantly go to some things that look like this maybe, or possibly even this, or maybe this, or maybe one of these variations, something like that, or even this kind of tree, which just happens a lot. Or this variation of tree that, I don't know, somehow people learn in middle school, I guess. This is where, or maybe upper elementary, it just kind of has all these C shapes to it everywhere. Goes on and on forever. So these are all examples of your left brain's memory. Your left brain is the logical half of your brain, and it's the side that likes to label things. It also stores kind of a stockpile of examples of what things could or should look like, right? It likes to have the right answer. So when you were smaller and you were like asking someone, how do I draw a tree? They were like, whoa, this is all you gotta do. This little swirly thing up here and boom, you've got a tree, right? You were so satisfied because you felt like you got it. But if you stepped outside, this isn't what trees actually look like in the world. So now your right brain steps in. Your right brain sees things differently or allows you to see the detail in things. So we're going to train you to see trees and draw trees a little more accurately. So the first step is holding your pencil differently. So I need you to have a wooden pencil for this work. And you're also going to notice that my wooden pencil has a little more exposed graphite on it. So we're going to hold your pencil differently and move it a little differently. So I'm going to have you just lay it flat and then push down on it until the tail of the pencil pops up. And then you can scribble a little until you get a wide mark like that. So try doing that. Scribble a little until you get a wide mark. Now I want you to change your control in the way you hold it. So you're going to hold your pencil like this from the top for this work. And it's going to help you get a little more realistic or convincing looking tree. So we're going to push down. I want you to start at the lowest part of your paper. And you're going to get this nice wide mark. And then you're going to push down kind of hard so it's dark. And as you go up, I want you to tip the eraser end of your paper up and let up on your pressure so your line gets lighter and lighter and lighter, and it's going to wiggle in lots of weird ways, but that's okay. That actually is a benefit for us. So I want you to do this at least 5 times. Lighter, 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 and we're really practicing that control piece. So less pressure. At the bottom, heavy, heavy pressure, pushing super hard. As you get to the top, lighter and less pressure, and the line just disappears like this. So 5 of those. Just get the hang of this lift. And now this control thing is a benefit for drawing trees specifically. One, when you're using the side of your pencil, you leave a more textured mark. So you can see how this mark becomes or looks a little rougher. Now that'll help us make the illusion of a real tree, and it kind of creates this little chunk of value within our line. There's a gray scale right here within this piece. The other thing that happens is that at the top of your line, it gets all wiggly, and that looks a lot more natural than if you're drawing your tree and you have little sticks like fingers shooting out of the top. So here's how this works. Just to draw a simple tree that you're making up from scratch, you're going to start at the bottom, and I'm holding my pencil tip kind of hard. You can see my finger is pushing down really heavily. And I'm going to start up here, and as I go up, I'm just going to lift up my pencil and let it kind of go off to one side. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom again go over that same part, follow it, and then break off in a different spot. And then I'm going to go down to that base again and go up, but I'm tipping the eraser end of my pencil up. So I'm basically doing this. So as I'm drawing, I'm going up. So my line gets thinner and thinner, and I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to follow that, the last branch I just made, and then break off a little, and I'm tipping my pencil up. I'm going to try and give you a new view of this, and I'm going to turn it upside down. So when I draw on it this way, the point side of my pencil creates a sharper edge. So now I can go out this way, and I'm tipping up and letting the line get thinner. And then I'm doing this again. Line gets thinner and thinner. And I can put as many like big branches in this tree as I want. I'm just making it up, and I just kind of keep going over the base of the tree, but I'm trying to keep that base a little bit skinny so it looks natural. And I can start here, follow this up. But what I don't want to do is just be like, go through it and go, woo, with thousands of hairy little arms, because that really kind of wrecks the illusion. So this is the strategy of following it and holding it from the top. And it's actually better if you're kind of shaky. So if that's something you consider to be a weakness, this is definitely a case where it's not. You're going to follow each branch up and then tip your pencil up. And I'll flip this back over. So you can kind of see how I've got the start to this tree. And if we draw these a little larger, you can really see the texture of it. So I zoom in a little bit like this. You can kind of see the strokes coming in here. Now if I take my eraser, I can rough up the texture and change it up a little bit on the surface. Or let's say I want to make this darker on this side. I'm going to again use the side of my pencil. Make this part a little darker. Nope. And usually the branches in the tree are not bigger than the base or the trunk, right? So I can play with this a little more with my eraser and just lift off little parts to make the texture or the bark of it seem a little more three-dimensional. Now if it gets too thick, I'll thin it out. Like, I don't like how big that is right there. And whoop, I'm going to try this part, and then I'll add another little base out here. And whoop. Now if I wanted to add leaves to this tree, it wouldn't be too tricky for me. I'm going to use that same method where I'm holding the pencil from the top, and I'm going to do what's called scumbling. I'm going to show you down here. So scumbling is like a little wiggle with using the side of your pencil. And you're just kind of like making quick little X's. Now the trick with leaves on trees is that you want them to be kind of see-through and different lightness and darkness. And they aren't necessarily everywhere, and especially this time of year. Some trees have already dropped quite a few leaves. So I can go through and add this kind of sparse light and dark, and I don't always know when to stop. Sometimes I just have to like get away from it, zoom out, think about what it looks like, and then I can add on other branches if I feel like it's looking kind of lame or a little too basic. I'll just add more branches, maybe add more leaves. So your first assignment, your first practice, I want to see 5 of these variations, and I want to see 1 little practice of making a tree. If you make more than 1, that's fine. But please do not just draw the tree and fill it in like this. And then just go whoop on top. This is a no-go. All right?